Hey everyone, and thank you for joining me for community readings for collective healing. I want to take a moment to take a deep breath and ground. I feel like it's been forever since I've done one of these. So if you'll join me by however you feel comfortable, I'm going to place my hands over my heart and take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you are joining me for the first time, and actually, thank you to everyone that's joining, and thank you to any replay watchers. If you are joining for the first time, I want to say thank you for joining me, and I'll introduce myself. I'm a multidimensional medium, and I empower femmes of color and their allies to live with confidence, purpose, and integrity through grounded spirituality. I do these community readings for collective healing as a way to share with people what grounded spirituality looks like, to give people direct access to spirituality through myself as a medium. And thanks so much for joining, Claire. So happy to have you here. If you are joining me, why don't you drop a comment letting me know your name and where you're joining from. Today we're going to be doing readings. I just want to talk about something very quickly. But today we'll be doing readings, and the way I like to do my readings is I walk you through a little intention setting exercise, some grounding, and then I have you give me an emoji and I read off that emoji. So while you guys are dropping in, letting me know that you're joining. Hey Claire again. Hi, Kristen from Portland. Hi. Hey, Eve. Thanks so much for joining. I have a fun story. I don't know if you're still in Washington, Eve, but I just started working for a company out of Washington, so I might be in your head. So today I really want to talk about ritual and ceremony and how grounded ritual and grounded ceremony can really help us. And I share this with you because today I used to do these readings, these community events once a week. I used to do them in a Facebook group that I was a part of. When I had my own Facebook group, I was playing with the idea of doing it every week, but it just didn't feel right. So now I do it once a month, and once a month feels like the right frequency for me. But having a ritual around this experience is really important for me. And I'll tell you what my ritual is. Whenever I have one of these live streams, actually any live stream, I like to show up at least 30 minutes early to the space. I like to do a grounding exercise, whether it be meditation, just breathing, whether it be a prayer or setting up a crystal grid. And I like to bless the space and clear the space. And I like to set myself up. It allows me to connect with the energy of the space. It allows me to connect with the energy of what I'm creating. And it really helps me ground the energy for anyone else to step into this space so that we can have the best outcome from this experience. And I can't stand it when I get interrupted. So I started a new job on Monday, and my family and I were trying to find a flow with it. So today I was in my grounding ceremony, I was in my ritual, my ceremony, and my partner calls me and is like, I'm on my way to your office. I need to get the kids' baseball stuff. And I'm like, bring my spare key, get it yourself. And he's like, no, I'm already at the lane. I'm just like, I'm going to be late. And I felt so anxious. And hi, Cyril. I feel like I've met you before, so I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Hi, Bianca. Thanks so much for being here. So I had this moment when I was walking back into the office from my car where I thought, I don't have to do all of this grounding stuff. Like I could just show up and do the readings, but it's not the energy that I want to come from. And so when we think about that, ritual and ceremony is simply a way to set up the energy. It's kind of like setting a dinner table and how you're creating an ambiance and you're creating a vibe. So your ritual is really not meant to be strict adherence. It's not even what makes you you. It's simply a tool to help support you and amplify you as you go into your space. So if you have any rituals, drop them in the comments. Let me know what your rituals are. Maybe it's the ritual that you do to start off your day, to have the best day. But I strongly encourage you to think into the actions, the practices that help you feel at your best and help you feel whole. And make a commitment to yourself to bring more of that into your life, to create rituals around those practices. Another example of rituals for myself is I like to have rituals around how I start my day. I always like to start my day by using the bathroom. And then I like to get, I am the most creative in the morning, so I will write. I like to write or journal in the morning. And then I like to do some body movement, so exercise, whether it be yoga, strength training, anything. I like to do it first thing in the morning. And I feel like that's what really sets me up to have a really great day. So there's that. Let me just get myself situated here. Okay. Hi, Daphne. Thanks so much for joining. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and start with some readings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a grounding meditation, an intention setting exercise, and then we'll jump into some readings. And the reason why I do this, and this is something that I do in my readings, in my classroom settings, in my really in any space that I work in, because especially at this time of day, we've gone through the day with so many different experiences and really connecting with people energetically and different events in our life, connecting with those energetically, connecting with different feelings. And we're carrying all of that with us. And that really weighs down the energy. So this grounding practice that I do whenever I start with an exchange is to help lift the energy and raise vibrations so it's easier to connect. So that's really important to me. You can, for this practice, you can go ahead and find a comfortable position. And that might mean sitting down. That might mean sitting down, laying down, standing up and stretching, or even sitting up straight. But whatever feels most comfortable to you, find that comfortable position and gently close your eyes. And as you gently close your eyes, begin by taking a deep breath in through your nose, and I'll count you off for 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhaling fully and completely through your mouth for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last breath in through your nose for 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhaling through your mouth for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feeling your breath return to its normal rhythm. Visualize roots flowing out of your tailbone and over your legs, grow into the ground, spreading wide, intertwining, braiding, and clinging onto the roots of all the plants within your vicinity. You join with these plants, forming a union, helping them and them helping you. Your roots continue to grow onward, deeper down through different layers of earth. Your roots finally travel downwards towards its destination, meeting and connecting with the earth's golden light core. As you meet with the golden light core, you surrender and receive the earth's golden grounding, clearing, and cleansing energy. This energy revitalizes your roots as they travel upwards, up through your root system, through the channels feeding all of the plant roots that you've connected with, moving up through the earth, over your legs, and into your body. At your tailbone, a red ball of light, your root chakra shines and spins, glowing more brighter and faster. The light travels upwards into your sacral chakra, where there's a beautiful citrus orange light spinning faster, brighter, and this light continues to move up your system into your solar plexus. A yellow sunny color, spinning faster, brighter, even bigger. And the light continues up into your heart, where a grassy green ball of light spins, round, juicy, like a jewel. The light continues up into your throat, where a sky blue sphere of light spins. The light continues up into your third eye, where an indigo ball of light spins. The light continues up into your crown chakra, where a violet light, and up and out of your system, branch out tree limbs, reaching up into the universe and pulling down a column of white light energy, pulling this column of white light deep down into your core channel, back into the earth. And as you take a deep breath here, you watch as this column of white light expands by a 25-mile radius. And then you watch as the light expands by a 100-mile radius. And as you take a deep breath here, you watch as the light expands until the entire planet is covered. Bringing your attention back to your heart space. Think of your intention for today, for this time we spend together. Whether you wish to connect with a loved one in spirit, or whether to receive guidance for a question or situation in your life. And as you connect with your intention, watch as this energy at your heart space, this green sphere of light, spins and grows. And as it grows, the color changes from green to gold. And this gold color grows and grows until this golden ball of light fills up your entire space. And with trust and knowing, you release this ball of light so that it may go to where it knows to go to support you in your highest good. You can gently bring your attention back to your fingers and back to your toes, and gently open your eyes. And when you're ready, you can drop an emoji in the comments for reading. And I have a drink of water. And I want to give a quick shout out to my partner, Ira, who is managing the comments from behind the scenes. Whenever you see your comments thrown up there, she's the one who's taking care of it. So I wouldn't be able to do this and just be totally present if it weren't for Ira. So thank you. And because I'm adjusting to these new energy levels of working full-time again, which is not even really full-time. I have to tell you guys, I manifested this job. I'm working for one of those tech companies that has unlimited paid time off. And on my first day, my manager told me, make sure you take advantage of your PTO right away. If you have a day, if you don't have any calls, just block it out on your calendar and submit your timesheet for your day off. And I was just like, is this a trap? So, okay. So I kind of just let my guides draw my attention to whomever I'm supposed to start reading with. And I'll be using my cards to support me. So Cyriel, Cyriel. I feel like your name is similar to mine. How you pronounce it. I don't think you dropped an emoji, but I feel like I need to read for you. So drop me an emoji if you're here. If not, I'm going to move on to someone else. Yeah, it's a pretty cool opportunity. I'm like feeling so #blessed and abundant with this new job. And it's the kind of job I feel like I can actually do this and have that job at the same time. So okay, if she's not here, I'll be moving on to somebody else. Okay, so stick around, guys. All you have to do when I am done with the reading is share how the reading resonated with you, because it really helps other people that watch this see what's really possible and available to them. I was that person where I was very skeptical, did not grow up spiritual, grew up Catholic as kind of like that. These are my instructions and I will follow them, but not as a legitimate, and not as like a legitimate participant. I was not like actually participating. So you're a bit agitated. Have I met you? I think I've met you before. Let me know in the comments. Okay, here we go. They want me to pull 3 cards for you. When I say they, it's my guides, your guides, your higher self, everybody, the whole party. Okay. 3 cards. The first one is the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords, and this is always really confusing for me to share cards on this camp because yeah, it's like not mirrored for me. The next card is the 8 of Wands. I'm going to explain these in a second. Okay, and then the last card. Page of Swords, Eight of Wands. No wonder you're agitated. Six of Cups. Okay, so Page of Swords, it feels like, well, Page of Swords means like a new idea, the deliverance of a new idea. And when I look at this, I feel like my card is damage number one. That really popped out to me because it's around the neck. But anyways, I feel because this page holds the sword behind their back, it feels like the idea is there, it lives there unconsciously. And it actually feels like there's lots of pressure from this idea that lives there unconsciously. When I see this card, I also think of how it looks like the page is standing on top of a mountain, and how it feels like this deliverance of a new idea is because you've reached the peak of a journey. And so I feel like what it's calling upon you is to surrender, surrender to the pressure. And I don't mean like pressure from other people, but surrender to the pressure from within you that's calling you to do this new thing. And it feels like it's on that surrender that it actually reveals itself. It's kind of like last year, I spent the majority of the year filling up my schedule with every kind of programming, coaching, whatever, to grow this business, and that I didn't even have time to serve in my business. And so it was that kind of busy work that prevented me from seeing the truth of what was necessary, what was needed of me, and what that was needed of me to serve and to live in my purpose. And so it feels like that surrender is the same kind of, not to say that you're keeping yourself busy, but what it feels like is that allowing yourself to surrender is the kind of medicine that you need to be able to see what is actually needed of you, or what's actually being asked of you by the universe. I was feeling into what is this new idea? And it feels like the pressure of this new idea is because it feels like it's cutting off a part of you. And it feels like it's shaving off a part of you that you're unconscious of, because I see this like slicing of the back. And not in a, it does feel painful because it's a part, that pain feels like not feeling ready to let go, or not wanting to let go. But it feels, when I see this slicing, shedding, departure of yourself, it feels like bloodletting, the act of letting yourself bleed to release pressure from. I'm not a bio person, but I'm telling you what I'm feeling. So relieve the pressure, to let it out. It almost feels like when people are wounded, and sometimes you need to create, like, I know that sometimes when people have breathing problems, they have to have like a needle, a puncture in their chest to allow them to breathe. So it feels like that kind, because what I see is after that sword kind of like cuts you in the back, it's then you're into fighting stance. So like you go from having the sword in the back to having the sword in front of you, and then you have full access and mobility and range with the sword. So that goes from, so the sword represents the thought, the knowledge. And so for the sword to go from your back to your front to a position of access, a position where you are, when you are in control, it really feels like the thought goes from being just a seedling in the back of your head to something that's full-fledged. So it feels like this thought takes form rather quickly for you. I know you said that you're agitated today, and I feel like this thought is kind of like the armor and the motivation, or even like a defense mechanism that you need to be able to take on these things in life. Because I see you go into like this, I want to call it dancing, fighting stance, because it feels like people are coming at you, and then equipped with this sword, you're able to fend them off. So it feels like now you have the confidence and the courage with this idea at hand. I'm going to hold that right there because I feel like I need to go into the next card now. So the next card is the Eight of Wands. And with the Eight of Wands, it's about the deliverance of, it's about your passion taking form and the flow that happens when that happens. The flow that happens when that happens. But the flow that happens when you allow yourself to be in that flow. How things materialize and manifest rather quickly when you allow yourself to be in that flow. One of the things that sticks out for me is how all these arrows are pointing upwards to the sun. And suns to me represent your soul's purpose, what you came into this life to be. And these birds next to it, to me, I feel like it has to do with faith. Like when I see doves have to do with faith. And just, it's not about perfection, is what it feels like. Passion is not about perfection, and manifestation is not even about perfection. But manifestation is about the dedication to yourself, to your authenticity, and the commitment to continue to move in that direction. One of my teachers, Juliet Obodo, she goes by Million Dollar Hypnotist. She teaches manifestation as dedication, drive. I think that's it. Can't remember. It's 3 things, but dedication and trust are definitely 2 of them. And so what I see in these arrows, like dedication to the path, to the direction, with all these arrows going in the same direction, and trusting that it's going to land. Like, you just know that it's going to land. The last card is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups, right? Yep. And Six of Cups, I feel like has to do with like childlike innocence and play. Okay. So what do these cards mean for you? So it feels like, number 1, I feel like you're changing. I keep going back to you feeling agitated today, and I feel like someone pissed you off, but I also feel like it's what was needed, like that anger. Sometimes our anger is the good vibe or the fire that we need to light our purpose from within. And so I feel like this anger is what's setting off this sword, this deliverance, a new way of thinking, a new form of consciousness for you. And it's that passion and drive that you need to be able to stand up for this, for what you're manifesting. 8 is all about mastery and the prosperity that comes as a result of that mastery and that commitment to yourself. And so I don't always, but it wants to come out as I feel like this last card, the Six of Cups, is about finding a harmony. It's harmony within your emotions. Cups is all about emotions and intuition, but realizing that the anger is good sometimes, that we're not meant to be on 100 of anything, like 100% anything. It's allowing all of it to come through. So that childlike, when we're kids, we don't even think about how to express it just comes out, like that childlike nature of allowing it to live in the moment, as opposed to trying to as adults in society today, a lot of times try to temper our emotions in terms of like, we don't want to offend anybody, or yeah, I don't want to offend anyone with my emotions, but just let it out, finding your space to be able to let it out. And I feel like that's complete. So let me know how that resonates for you in the comments. Thank you for everyone that's joining right now, to Mo and Myra. I'm just going to disconnect from Serial's energy. Okay. Okay. So I ask Myra, if you don't share your question, and let me just give some context here, because you dropped some questions about whether you're pregnant and whether or not you will conceive, or when will you conceive. And I don't see being a psychic as being a fortune teller. I see it as being connected with energy and spirit and having access to that guidance. So when you have a question, I feel like the questions are better when they're open-ended and they're not yes or no, or definitive in that sense, like, am I going to get pregnant? Yes or no. When am I going to get pregnant? I feel like this is more about getting guidance on what are you doing, what is happening with your energy that is preventing you. So I hope that helps. And yeah. Okay. So let's see who else. If you're just joining, think about your intention for the reading and then drop me an emoji, and I'm letting spirit guide me. So Blanca, I will read for Blanca next. I feel like, Blanca, I feel like you are potentially nervous, because as I tried connecting with you, as I started to connect with you, I feel it in my stomach. That feeling in my stomach feels like a nervous excitement, like butterflies. And it also feels like when you are bracing yourself for impact and you hold your breath. And that's what I actually see. Let me take a drink of water. Okay, I'm gonna pull a card. I hear 2 cards. Pull 2 cards for her. Okay. Here's a good question. Drop me a yes in the comments if you have had psychic experiences before, psychic or paranormal experiences. I'm going to be holding Blanca's cards. Oh, okay. So while I'm doing this reading, you guys can drop me a yes if you've ever had a psychic experience before, paranormal, supernatural, and no if you haven't, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so the first card for Blanca is the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is about deception, being backstabbed. This also has to do with consciousness and your mind and thoughts. And what are you like believing, and what are you perceiving? And ooh, I feel like for Blanca, as I'm just even looking at these cards, I feel like you're in your head a lot, that there's a lot of analyzing and rationalizing, because as I look to the next card, before I could even like register what this next card is, I feel a full body tingle, starting with my head, moving down to my chest. And it feels like Spirit's telling me that there's a lot of action going on in your head. Everyone's psychic, so everyone that said yes, I'm so glad that you're aware and of your psychic awareness. But for anyone that says no, you are. Everyone is psychic, but you're just not noticing or know how to notice it. So your second card is Nine of Cups. And Nine of Cups is about, like, let me just say that the contrast of these two cards is like a total journey. It's a total journey, like a total 180 journey. Because the Seven of Swords is about deception and like how are you feeling deceived and how are you recovering from that deception? And then the Nine of Cups is about feeling, excuse me, the Nine of Cups is about feeling abundant and feeling like if you look at it, the Nine Cups surrounds the person's head. They're just kind of like fancy, opulent. They're on this like super lovely cozy chair. They're just like red eagle on this chair. Like, let me take up all the space here. Let me just put all my cups on display because they're so freaking awesome. That's a big jump. So the way I'd like to view your cards is I feel like it's telling a story and a journey of what you're going through. So deception, feeling deceived, but I feel like the deception is coming from you and it's the rationalizing and analyzing that you are constantly like your intuition speaks to you constantly and loud and very loudly, but that you're constantly then countering it by rationalizing and talking yourself out of it. And when your intuition speaks to you, it is for your benefit, it is your higher self. And so it feels like it's leading you towards this path of living out your best life, but that you are constantly talking yourself out of it. So I feel like this is the advice I give to people that are wanting to develop a conscious relationship with their psychic awareness is instead of talking yourself out of it, you don't have to do anything when these thoughts come up. So when you feel like, oh, I should take a different route today, I should buy a muffin today, I should like do this, I should do that. You don't have to do anything. Doing nothing is more beneficial than talking yourself out of it because you create, when you talk yourself out of it, you're creating a narrative that's replacing the current narrative from your higher self. So doing nothing, write down what you're feeling, that you're not going to do anything about, and then just see what happens with your day. Because I feel when people do this, it gives them an opportunity to identify the messages that they're getting, the feelings that they're getting, because those are messages too. And I actually feel like you're like highly physically empathic, where you feel it in your body, if like your body's communicating with you. Write down what you're feeling, and then just see where it goes. And then you will see, like the universe will show you, like, well, if you did do something about it, you could. This is what it could have been. I also feel like this disconnection with your psychic awareness, it's generational. So it's ancestral feeling that you're moving through. And let's see here. What I'm seeing is like, I wonder if if it's actually generational or if it's like a past life thing. because I see it doesn't feel like it's you, but it feels like someone related to you that is doing like a ritual, like an outdoor nighttime ritual around a fire, that there's drumming, there's dancing, and it feels like this is a hidden part that you were persecuted for. So that's really common, especially with anyone that's alive right now, that all of these souls that had past lives during the Spanish Inquisition, during maybe it was the Crusades, I don't know, any witch trials, anything where you're persecuted for your spiritual tradition that wasn't a norm of like Christianity or Protestantism or whatever. If you were anything other, then you were persecuted, and so you've been carrying that karmic lesson. So finding a relationship with your psychic awareness, I feel like you can begin by doing that, journaling all the different things that you're feeling. Okay. Now they want me to pull a third card for you. Okay. Ooh. Ace of Cups. It's a really pretty card, by the way. So Ace of Cups is about a new beginning with emotions and relationships. And I actually feel like this is, my cards are monochrome because I can feel very overwhelmed when there's too much color and imagery going on. But I feel like in this particular card that the bird is represented as, I feel like it's a phoenix. It's not rising from ashes, but it's rising. And I feel like this is a new relationship with yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you treat yourself, what you believe, how you believe in yourself, self-acceptance, confidence. I feel like that's what it is. So I feel like that's it. So if that resonates or whatever resonates, please just feel free to share in the comments. I'm just going to disconnect it. And guys, I hope you can hear me okay. I usually use my headset. Not working today. Not much is working today. Thank you so much. Okay. And if you want to develop a conscious relationship with your psychic awareness, you can always come to my Psychic Play Circle. It's a monthly event. We meet on Zoom and you learn how to do a reading, and I talk about different ways to utilize that in your own personal development. And then I also have a virtual program called the Gentle Awakening that you could take, and it's self-paced. And you learn the foundations of psychic development. Let's see who's smiling. Okay, Kristen, if you are still here, drop me an emoji. If you're not here, then I will move on to the next person. Awesome. How cute, a pink flamingo. I feel like it's one card. One card. Ooh. Okay. The Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords. It's the Nine of Swords reversed. So the Nine of Swords, not reversed, is about, I feel like the Nine of Swords is really similar to kind of like a Tower card in that kind of energy. And I'll explain why. So the Nine of Swords is about kind of like the pain and grief that you go through. So let's lean into grieving. It's like the grief, it is the grief that you experience when you experience change. And I feel like this card is about change, changing the way that you think, changing your consciousness, and grieving parts of you that existed with your old self and needing to let go of your old self. Nine is all about the completion of a cycle. Swords are all about consciousness. But because the card is reversed, I feel like there's a bit of you holding back and like really letting go and completing that grieving process. I asked the question, like, what is it that you're grieving or what is it that you're letting go? I actually see that it's like a slap in the face, but I feel like the slap in the face is you beating yourself up. So I feel like there's a drastic change here. And you can drop validation in the comments to share if you feel so inclined. But here's an example. Doreen Virtue was very popular amongst people that love her divination decks and took classes. And then she did a complete 180 where she rescinded everything that she did and actually spoke very poorly of all the work that she did and said that, like, no, don't do anything like that. Like, divination is bad for you. And said that she was like born again Christian and that she was saved. And yeah, that's a big change. And I wondered for years what on earth could happen for a person to make such a drastic change like that. And the more I thought about it, the more I started to, I guess, realize, and this is my personal opinion, was that in her situation, I feel like whatever had her started in her when she was like the it girl of divination and the spiritual community, was that was not a person that she was acting in love. It was not a person that she was proud of. And so I feel like where she's now is she's beating herself up for where she came from. And so what I feel like is there is a lot of self-deprecating going on, and that you are only adding to it by not allowing yourself to just breathe. So you've been grieving yourself a lot in the last month, especially just kind of to let go of some of the questions. So first of all, my heart goes out to you. I've had several family members deal with breast cancer, and I'm gonna try not to commiserate with you, but I just feel like I could share what it means on an energetic level. So what I've learned through my hypnosis training with Dolores Cannon, learning quantum healing hypnosis technique, is and this is what I've experienced firsthand too. So what the body does is a model of what our cells are experiencing, and how our cells are behaving is a model for how we're feeling on our mental emotional level. And our mental emotional level is modeling the behavior of what we're experiencing on a spiritual level. And what I learned in quantum hypnosis is that different ailments are representative of different things. And cancer is anger. It's like intense anger and hatred, like the kind of anger and hatred that multiplies and just has a life of its own, pretty much like a tumor, right? Now, where it happens really speaks to where, like, what part of you mentally and emotionally the anger lives and hatred lives. And to give you an idea, when I first started connecting with my psychic abilities, I realized that what I felt empathically, physically, was in alignment with traditional Chinese medicine, which is also in alignment with Ayurveda. How different parts of the body represent different parts of our mental, emotional well-being. So when you have breast cancer, depending on exactly where the tumor, or if they can even pinpoint where it's happening, can give you so much information and context about what you're feeling deep down inside. So I had an aunt, actually two aunts that mine had experienced breast cancer, and my one aunt, she was I talked to her about this because she let me do a practice session on her. And she said that she was really angry because she did feel like when she was growing up that she didn't ask to be born, and that she felt like, you know, her parents owed it to her because she didn't ask to be born, for them to do, like, take care of her, support her financially, emotionally, whatever. And so it made her feel very angry. And that's just to give you an idea. So I hope. Let's feel into this holding back of the grief. So you're probably immunocompromised depending on what kind of treatment you're doing, but I am seeing you spending more time in nature, helping you ground, and actually it feels like giving yourself to nature, allowing parts of you to be given back to nature, so that the earth can clear and ground that energy. There's a practice by women, and I know that when women are going through chemo, that they're put into a medically induced menopause. But if you're not, you can take your menstrual blood. It gets tricky because you kind of need to use a menstrual cup in order to save it. But giving that back to the land, just giving it to the earth, using it as fertilizer anywhere makes no difference. But what I see is you actually going on a hike, and it feels like not like a long hike, not like backpacking, but it just feels like you're going on a hike and that you're going on this journey. And it feels like the word pilgrimage comes up. And I know pilgrimage refers to returning to like a very holy site, or like a site with a lot of value to you. But what I see is like a healthy version of you going on this journey and reaching the top and being able to look out at the land. It feels like sunset, to be able to see kind of that it feels like peace, and that feeling complete, feeling complete with your purpose, feeling complete with your life. I'm going to pull one more card for you. So it's the Five of Wands reversed. And this card, actually, I feel like it has to do with change. It has to do with change and feeling like there's so much going on, like there are too many hands in the cookie jars, but this card feels like, and not being able to tell like what's good for you and what's working against you. But this card in particular, it feels like so then normally, I believe, when it's right side up, that's what it feels like. But when it's upside down, when I see it, what I feel like is like a very intentional inserting into like the, it feels like disruption. It feels like disruption in the chaos to be able to just advocate for yourself is what it feels like. So I know you say that it feels like you, let's change that okay. I just want to say very quickly that I do not give medical advice because I am not a medical professional, and that what I do here is for entertainment purposes only. But I do feel like when the cancer connects with your spine, that's your nervous system. And so to me, the nervous system is your intuition embodied. And so for me, it feels like from an energetic standpoint, it doesn't mean to me that there is no hope, but I feel like it's very deep rooted. So if you're seeking out energetic, like energy work to help complement your care plan, I feel like that's where it needs to be focused, is like deep consciousness work. But it feels like that you advocating for yourself is, and even through your grief, even through grieving the part of you that you're grieving, and advocating for yourself even through that grief, and advocating for yourself in every bit of your life. Because if it feels like this is your last chance, or this is the last fight, advocating for yourself to the end, um, and letting that be the act of self-love, letting that be the greatest act of love that you can give yourself. Oof. Okay, so that is the end of that. That feels complete. So Kristen, I'm just disconnecting with your energy. Thank you so much for letting me into your energy to read for you. It is such an honor. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I send you so much love and energy as you continue on in your care. So, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the replay watchers. If you want to watch any past community readings for collective healing, you can always go to my website, krisellcan.com/demos. And there's actually a playlist embedded onto that page so they can watch any past one. If you're joining from YouTube, I have a playlist of all of these videos right there on my YouTube channel page. And you can catch me every third Thursday here on Twitch and YouTube Live, giving these live streams. And if you haven't already, join my mailing list to get my free psychic development playlist videos that you can watch and develop your psychic awareness on your own. And then if you're ever ready to live practice, my psychic play circles for you. So thank you so much for joining, and you guys have a wonderful weekend and the rest of your month, and I will see you next month. Bye everyone.